Hey y'all, this is James and August and Alexis with D Heart Reptile Design.
And don't move fast around snakes or else they'll bite you.
We wanted to talk about how children should approach having their first ball python. I'm seeing a lot of people actually favoring the ball python as far as a first pet because of the lack of cleaning. You know, these guys only poop like once a month, and also the ease of actually having an animal like this is not as hard as having a bunny or a hamster or a squirrel. So squirrel. Did I just say squirrel? I meant to. Oh, okay, or squirrel. Okay.
Or a bunny.
Or a bunny. So these guys are very low maintenance. Having this in your child's room does not mean that they're going to get out and decide to go on a murderous rampage in your home. Most of the time, they are very low maintenance. You put a heat pad on one side, and your kid can, as long as they're trained, can go in there, pick up their ball python, and play with it and put it back with really no trouble at all.
And Chop Suey just found my tickle spot.
Yeah, did you find your tickle spot?
Yeah.
So as you can see, we like to educate our kids with what should we watch out for. So August, you were just saying, whenever you're holding a ball python, what should you not do?
Go fast, or else you'll get bitten.
Yeah, so we don't want to move around really quickly around our ball pythons because...
Either for poisonous snakes.
Yeah, okay, well definitely don't want to move around quickly around poisonous snakes. But with these guys, they get intimidated really quickly, and so they're going to more of have a defensive reaction by striking at you. They're not going to try to eat you. As you can see, Lexi, she's very comfortable with ball pythons, and you can see how she's handling her ball python right now. How she's moving slowly, and how she's just trying to basically support its body. So, what else do we have to know about ball pythons, Lexi?
Are you choking?
Talk to the camera.
Like if they have pink tummies or foggy eyes, they are about to shed.
That's right. So we have pink tummies, foggy eyes, about to shed. Should we hold our animals if they're about to shed? No, we shouldn't hold them when they're about to shed because they're practically blind. Could you imagine not having any arms, not having any legs, and then being blind, and then somebody picking you up? It's not going to feel really great. Not to mention, they don't even have any ears. So we always just want to keep that in mind whenever we're holding our animals. I always say that it's better to respect than fear. So we want to make sure we respect these guys, but we don't necessarily need to fear them. What else did you want to say, Lex?
Well, if I was a snake, I want to be very comfortable around humans when I've been blinded.
That's right. Yeah. What else?
And Jebs was really choking me.
Isn't he funny? Okay. Anyway, August, what else? What do ball pythons eat?
Rats. If you're a rat, then don't run into a snake.
Yeah.
If you just fed the snakes rats, then you wouldn't be able to hold them because the rats smell in the air.
Yep. Okay, that's something that we also need to know. That whenever we feed our animals, we like to give them a few days to digest their food. These guys, we don't want to worry about having regurgitation, and that happens sometimes. And if you notice, Lexi, she likes to put her hand underneath the snake's face. We don't ever want to come down on top of the snake's face.
Or else they will strike. They aren't very comfortable.
Yeah, so we don't ever want to come down like this. If we want to do anything, we want to come from below and let them make the move. So something else about ball pythons is that they require that their environment be on the warm side, 89 degrees, and on the cool side, closer to 85 to 83 degrees. On our cages, it's more like 83 degrees on the cool side, so that way they can regulate their temperature. Something with Lexi's snake here is that I found her on the cool side, which means that she was trying to cool her body down. What do they call them, babe? What are these called? Endothermic?
Ectothermic.
Ectothermic. Okay, so they're ectothermic. So this is not going to be like a rabbit where you put it in a cage and it's going to be capable of regulating its body temperature because it's a mammal. These guys require heating pads, and they require thermostats. So unless you guys are comfortable with having a thermostat or a heating pad or even a lamp to make sure that their cage is warm enough, then that's something that you definitely need to consider. What else did you want to say, August?
Well, if you're right, I would hide from a snake.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely true.
He's stuck on that fact.
Well, what did you want to say, Lex?
Could you imagine if you were a snake and be blinded?
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable if humans were holding you?
Yeah, we always want to consider how the snake feels, right? Okay, so this is James with D Heart Reptile Design. I hope that was informative. I hope that you guys enjoyed our lovely bunch of coconuts here.
Do we want to show like how to hold maybe a baby when you get a brand new baby?
Yeah,
because they're a little bit
Let's hold a
bit different than holding a big guy.
Yeah, so big guys, they...
You got it. Get Chopsy back. I think he's overwhelmed.
Okay.
Babies are more bitey.
Yeah, they're definitely more defensive.
Yeah, they're definitely.
And why do you think that is?
Because they're little and small.
That's right.
And big things can eat them easily.
That's exactly right.
But mouses, yeah.
So by nature, because of their size, they're a little bit more defensive. So it's not their fault, right? It's just because they're little.
Yeah, they have to defend themselves so they can survive.
Yeah.
So,
Not unlike dogs, the household.
So, okay, let's quiet down.
so this is a baby. So Lexi's going to hold it, and she's going to make sure that she
Watch
doesn't
how
move really
I pet
quick.
it. Watch how I pet it.
Okay, August, yep. Let's listen to Daddy.
And we also don't
You
want to
gotta
move in
snake bite
front of the face. We don't want to make any motion towards the face. This baby is more likely to strike when it's this small. As ball pythons get older, they get more accustomed to movement. They get a little bit more secure in themselves. They're not so insecure in their surroundings or their capabilities. But when they're this small, it's very important that you give them a little bit more leniency. And how I like to pick mine up, if we put this down, is if it's in the cage, and you can, of course, if it's in a ball like this, just pick it up like that. You just pick it up, there's its head, right? So, but if it does have its head out like this, you don't want to come from the front of his head. You want to come from behind it to pick it up. And ball pythons are, especially when they're babies, they're very... they have a different tendency whenever they're being held as opposed to if they're being in their cage. They're going to be more defensive if they're in their cage, if they're in their environment. They're not necessarily going to want to move or be held or be picked up. But as soon as you pick them up, you can start actually getting them more used to you. We always tell people, if you're going to get a ball python, try to hold it at least at the beginning 2 times a day, 15 minutes a piece, and you're going to have that ball python completely be used to you, and you're going to have no problem picking it up in the cage. What did you want to say, Lex?
Imagine if you were a baby and you would be holding by people that don't know that. Imagine that.
Yeah, that would be really scary, right? The baby would cry. And so this is the reason why we want to make sure that we give them as much respect as we possibly can. Now, these ball pythons, you know, when they're small like this, if they bite you, they don't even break the skin. They might have a little bit of blood, but it's not going to really damage you. As they get bigger, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more substantial. That's why we want to make sure that we get our ball pythons used to us while they're small.
Tigers can really hurt you.
Yeah, well, tigers can pretty much kill you. These guys will never get big enough. So...
When the wind blows, the cradle will
Guys, we really like our ball pythons.
So this, as you can see, is a family hobby. Our children love ball pythons. We love ball pythons. And we love to bring anybody that has any questions into our little world here and really try to
Make
promote
sure to
what
not
we're
fear
doing.
snakes.
Yeah. Anyway, this is James. This is Alexis. This is August. What do you guys want to say to everybody?
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, please. Okay.
Thank you so much.